All right, my goal is to make this tutorial a little easier to follow. So it's going to be real straightforward. I basically wanted to make a collection system that was the same as Tony Hawk. You know, the letters come up on the side right there. And I wanted it to look exactly the same. So we're going to have a collection system just like the Tony Hawk's skate collection. In fact, let me show you exactly what we're going to make here before we do it. This is in... Well, we're not going to do all the environment assets in the character. This is for a game I'm making. It's kind of like a silly drunk walk simulator. But as you can see, we got the spinning letters here. You walk into them, boom, it pops up on the right side of the screen, and it knows which letter you pick up. So it went to D to U, K, and then when we collect them all, boom, complete. So that's exactly what we're going to make. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, and you can go ahead and open a project, and basically this is just a third-person example map. I just got rid of the stuff and made a flat surface. There's nothing special going on here. We're just doing a collection system. I'm going to organize it here. I'm going to go in the content, make a folder, call it collectibles. And they're basically we're going to make a class that we just have a collision sphere, and it picks up the actor when we go over it. So let's create a blueprint class of type actor. And I'm going to call it the collectible base. And this will handle most of the logic, and every letter will be a child of this. And that'll just really be just to identify it. That way it knows which one we pick up. And inside this collectibles folder, let's drop in the 3D letters. So I found these on CG Trader, but if you wanted to make your own, or if you have your own collectibles type or like object, I don't know, maybe it's like like some other type of object. This is where you'd import that. Let's import all. No smoothing groups, that happens all the time. Okay, let's see here. Got my skate letters. Okay, they're really tiny. That's all right. They should be low poly. Just pulled it up over here. Okay. All right, now that we got our letters, let's go ahead and open our collectible base. Okay. And in here, we're going to want to add the collision sphere. And the static mesh. And this will be the letters themselves. And we're going to want it to rotate, and we can add rotating movement. Okay. And let's move the sphere up to the scene root. And with the sphere selected, let's change the collision settings here. Let's do custom, and basically we only want it to overlap the pond. And in my case, I actually have a vehicle in my game, so basically anything that you want it to interact with. Oh yeah, we're going to put the logic on the controller, not the character itself. That way, in cases like this where I have a vehicle that can collect the letters, or if you have multiple characters, every character will be able to collect the item. And compile and save that. Oh yeah, and we're also going to want a particle effect, like it's the little explosion effect. Let's do particle system. And I think there's an explosion. Yeah, there's just an explosion by default. But sometimes these have performance issues. So let's browse to it. Let's duplicate it. Explosion 2. We'll open it up, and what I do sometimes is, if I don't want, like, maybe I don't need the smoke, you can come over here and turn the smoke off, maybe the fire light, and you know, it'll help out with the performance. You could probably take some more stuff off. Shockwave. Boom. See, so that still looks like an explosion. And the original one might be fine too. Just a little tip. Explosion, okay. Now we can go to the event graph. And with the sphere selected, let's scroll down to the green buttons. And we want on component begin overlap. And this is where we'll start some of the code. Now I do an authority check here, just kind of by habit. I'm not sure if it's a big deal since we're not doing multiplayer stuff, but what I do like to do is we want to make sure that it's only firing this code when it's the character. What I like to use is tags, and off other actor, go actor has tag. See this actor has tag? Goes into a branch. And in our player, I'm going to add a player tag. And so any player with this tag will be able to pick up this collectible item. We'll be able to pick up the skate letters. And in my video game, I have a remote control car that also collects them. So I just add the tag, and it's also able to pick up the skate letters. And so we can go to the player real quick. Let's see your content. Oh, wrong way. Oh yeah, third person BP. So go to your character. And in your class defaults, this is where the tags are. You see that? Go to defaults and you add a tag. This is where we add player, and it's case sensitive. So now it will recognize this. Let's go ahead and we can test this with a print string. And if it has a player tag, it'll say true. We're going to need to drag one out. Let's just drag the collectible base out. And we're going to be able to see it because the explosion is going to be constantly firing. But we actually want to set that. We'll change that in a second. Let's just test the print string here. True. You can see it in the corner there. So our tag worked. You know, I could make that visible as well. But we know it works. Let's go to the particle system. And where it says auto activate, we're going to set that to false. We're done testing with that. That way, when the player goes over the collision sphere, now we can drag this particle system out and then say activate. Boom, just like that. And then we're going to immediately destroy the letter. The letter will disappear. This is a component, so destroy component. And now we're going to need to add a variable because we need to tell it which letter it is. And I'm going to use an integer. So let's add an integer called skate. And so S will be 0, K will be 1. It's just going to be an identifier. Because we're going to go switch on int. We're going to need 5 pins. And since integers start on 0, it's going to go up to 4. And then now we need to set up some things because we're going to want this to play on the user interface. And we're going to need to get a controller reference. And we're going to have to talk with an interface. So let's go to the skate variable here and check instance editable, expose on spawn, compile and save, and now we can go make our individual skate letters. So right click the collectible base, and I'm going to call it collectible S underscore S. And then we should be able to open it and then go to the static mesh and what do we call it? Okay. Yeah, find your S. Okay, it is tiny. So we're going to have to size this up a bit. Okay. Right. Let's make it like 10 times 10. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, I just noticed I had my snapping at like friggin' 100. Okay. Don't need all that. Okay, so that's about the right size. So we're going to have to scale them all times 10. And click on the base here, the collectible self. And this is where we're going to make sure S is set to 0. So it starts out correct, but we're going to have to manually set it here. You know what, to make it faster, I'm just going to duplicate the S. And then we'll go K. We're going to open the full blueprint here. I'm going to go to the viewport, click on the S, and this is where we're going to go to get the K. Right here. Let's move it to the center. Centered, and then we're going to have to set this one to 1. The K is going to be 1 up here in our default. Compile, save. It's going to be kind of repetitive. This is going to be the A. You know, sometimes in game dev, you get into the repetitive stuff. And And the A is 2. Go to the T. Click on that. Give me the T. Oh, why is it not giving me the T? Oh, there it is. That's a 3. We're gonna compile, save, and then duplicate this for our E. That E. And the E will be number 4. Compile, save. All right, cool. Now we have all of our letters. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag them out so that we could test them and stuff. Oh yeah, let's get rid of this base one. We don't need it. SKA. Oops, I had multiple selected. Oh, I did it twice. Yeah, okay. Only want one selected when you drag it out. Okay. All right, cool. And I think we could test this. I think they'll blow up. See, they're spinning. Got our nice skate letters. Boom, they still blow up and disappear. Boom, 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 boom. Now, all we have to do is, I want to put the logic on the player controller. So in order to do that, we're going to need to make a player controller. And actually, looking back at when we test here, if you go back, it fires them again. So let's do one thing real quick. In our base collectible base, drag your sphere out and add it to the destroy component here, and it'll destroy this collision sphere and the static mesh at the same time. And now we're going to need to make 3 things. We're going to need a player controller, an interface, and a widget. Let's go ahead and just start with the widget, because we're going to want a user interface. So let's just call it player UI. _W for widget. And let's add a controller. I'm just going to call it the skate controller, that way I know what it is. But it's just a player controller. You might have one in your game already. It's just going to help talk to the player UI. We're also going to want a interface, a blueprint interface. And this is going to be for the controller. So I guess I'm going to do the skate. Oh, sorry. I like to start interfaces out with INT and skate controller. And let's go ahead and implement the interface by opening our skate controller here. And it's in the defaults. Or no, settings. Okay, yes, it's in the settings. INT. Our INT skate controller. Okay. So now that's there. And we can go ahead and open it by clicking this little browse to. And we're going to want a few functions here. It might look repetitive, but we want find or found. This is the event that will happen when we find the letters. Found S. We'll do all the letters this way. There's probably like another way to do this, but it's really clear this way. It was easy for me to understand. I just kind of came up with it this way. So I was really focusing on making it easy to fire off on the player's screen. Okay. Compile and save. And now we can go back to the controller. And in the event graph, off of begin play, we're going to create our widget. Called it player UI. And we need to right click and promote to variable. Just going to call it the player UI reference. Then we're going to add it to viewport. And we'll go ahead and set up the logic. We could make the widget right now, but we're already in here. And this is where we can find the event found S. Just like that. And this is an event that I want to display on the player's screen. So we're going to have to do something here where we do a custom event. We're going to call it client found S. And over here, we're going to click run on owning client and reliable. And this way it'll display the widget on the player's screen. Client found S. Set it up just like that, and we'll actually run some stuff here. We'll have the reference here, and we'll do that. But I'm just going to set it up. Event found K. Little repetitive, but And the last one. You know, I just thought, oh, I'll probably just speed this up, but I have a really cheap video editing software, and I was like, man, I don't think I have that as a feature. So we just sat there in silence as we did this repetitive process. Run a known client and reliable. Okay, so that's the... Well, I guess I could set this up too. And then we will make the widget. Client found T. All right. That looks good. And then we can go into we can browse to it here. And we're gonna need to open this up. Our widget is blank. I like to start with the canvas panel. That's just how Unreal Engine 4 always started you out with. And I just like it. So just drop it in here. Boom, boom. And in Tony Hawk's, it kind of slides in on the side here. So I want like SKATE on the side. Okay, so I'm going to want to add a vertical box. Excuse me. Add a vertical box. And I want to anchor it to the right. Zero out the positions. And we're going to size to content. Oh, I'm going to zero this out as well. Zero everything out. Yeah, zero everything out and size to content. And I did this before, so I know it needs a spacer. Add a spacer. And the size on the Y for the spacer is 256. Let's add our first letter, and that's going to be we need to add a text box, or just text. We need to add text to the vertical box. And actually this vertical box is going to be a variable, and let's call it the skate box. And the text is just going to be our S. And let's add padding. To the left and the right, let's do 25. It's looking better. And now we can choose a bigger font for our text as well. So in font, let's go up to 48 on the size. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to duplicate it. Oh, and each letter is going to be a variable as well, so it's the S variable. This will be the K. And it is a variable. Let's change the display text. And we'll duplicate. We will do the same thing all the way down. And you can use custom fonts. You can import fonts into the engine. You can change the spacing a little more if you want, but I like that. I think that works for now. Compile and save. And those are all variables. We got the variable yes. Okay. And by default, all of our letters are going to be hidden. Let's look up visibility. Change our visibility to hidden. And I want to use an animation because in the game it kind of slides in. So let's, with the skate box selected, let's go to this animations tab. Let's add an animation. Let's call it just the skate box. Skate box anim. Okay. Then with that selected, we click our skate box here. We're going to add a track. And it's going to be a transform. Let's hit this little arrow. And it's going to be a translation here. And skate box. Let's see, so the position on the X, I kind of wanted to do one of these. I wanted to go a little over and then settle and then disappear again. So if it starts at 0, that's fine. It's already off screen. You can see this is where our screen is. So if we go about -200 real fast. On the X. So a quarter of a second in, I want it to really fly in there. And I'll have it settle at -150. Boom. And then I want it to stay there for a couple seconds. So we'll do another -150 there. We'll add a key there. And then we'll go back to 0 at 3 seconds. Compile, save. I like that. Okay, and we're also going to want a congratulations message or a completed message. I'm just going to do that with a quick text. in the canvas panel. Size to content. It's just going to say find skate complete. We could just anchor it to the middle, zero out the positions. I guess the alignment needs to be 0.5 and 0.5. Size it to like 48. And we're going to set the visibility. Oh, it's a variable. Complete text. We'll call it complete text. Make sure it's a variable. And on the visibility, we're going to set it to hidden. There, it's hidden by default. Now we can go to the graph. And we're going to make some custom events. I'm going to keep it simple. Okay. Found this. We're going to do a custom event for each one. And we can just drag out get s and see. You can probably guess what we're going to do here. We're going to set the visibility to visible. So when the player finds the S, it's now visible. Mm-hmm. And with our player controller all set up, it'll be really easy to finish this. We're getting really close. And then after all of them, we're going to want it to do that slidey animation that we made. And the animations are also over here. We can drag it right in. And off of the skatebox anim, we go play animation. And all that's all right. We're going to do this after the player finds any of these. Just like that. Okay. Now I think I want to go back. Oh, I have a lot of tabs open here. I'm going to close some of these tabs. It's too many tabs. Now I feel like we could go back to the controller. Yep. And then here we're going to want to grab our reference. There it is. And now found S should be, there we go. Yeah, we're going to want that one. And we're going to do the same all the way down. Okay. Now we can go back to the base, the collectible base, and you see where we're at the switch on integer? We can now, we need to grab the, we need a controller reference. I feel a sneeze coming on, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So out of here, we need to get a controller. Oh yeah, and it's called Get Instigator Controller. And then from here, we can go get S. It's our message. Or found S, not get S, found. The found S message. So when it detects there, boom. Found K. All the way down. And then they'll all let the explosion play. There's that explosion animation. Probably trails off for about a second before we totally destroy the actor. I don't want to destroy it too early and the animation doesn't play. Okay. And I think we could test this. Oh wait, no. First we need to make a game mode so we can use our controller. Okay. Forgot about that. So go to Blueprint class. We're going to make a game mode. And just call it skate underscore GM. We'll open it up. And for the player controller, this is where we can use our skate controller. Compile, save, and then let's go to our world settings and use that skate game mode. Control Shift Save All. And now let's try. Yeah. Boom. Love to see it. All right. Okay, let's add the finishing touches. So back in the player UI, in the event graph, we're going to need one more custom event called found skate. And basically, I'm just going to take the completed text and make it visible. Set visibility. But you could do an animation here. Kind of like we did the pop-in deal. It could pop in. But for the sake of time, we'll just do this. And let's go to our controller. And we're going to need another integer, or another variable here. Found letters. You could do this a couple ways. You could have booleans on each one that says found S true, found K true. And then if they're all true, then the challenge is complete. I'm going to do an integer and just count it up. What I mean by that is, let's get it, and on every found event, we'll do an increment. So the found letters goes up by 1. But there's a few different ways you could check. This is just kind of a fast way. And then it's all going to play a sound. Oh yeah. Speaking of sound, let's go ahead and import the sounds I provided here. Okay. So we've got these two sounds. Let's drag them into our project. Where'd they go? Okay. Okay, really dank. Okay. And so off this, let's go play sound. Play sound. We could do play sound 2D just because it's just for the one client there. This one's the stab. That's what I called it. It goes, it just kind of sounds like the Tony Hawk one. And then it's going to go into a branch here. We're going to check if found letters is equal to 4. Now I know it starts on 0. Let's see if this works. And then from here we could do the show. Wait, what do we call it? Found skate. Found skate. Compile, save. Let's test it. Cool. Cool. Okay, it did it one early. You know, there's probably something going on here where it's... Okay. Let's just set this to 5. So it probably starts on... Or is it because the client fires one too? All right, let's see if this works. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. Now there's probably a better way I would do this. I might do a Boolean check, but this works, and then we could do the other sound. And this is just kind of to give you an idea. You could probably implement your own ideas, and since we're in the player controller, it'd be really easy if you're like having a points-based game to add points once this is completed. But we'll just for now do the other sound, which is the complete sound effect. And we can test this. Oh, this is really cool, actually. Okay, I really liked this one. I hope this was somewhat easy to follow. Oh, yeah. That actually works. All right, sorry, I'm being too loud. My wife's asleep. But thanks. Please like and subscribe. Please, so I can make more Unreal Engine things.